Hey everyone, how is everyone doing, huh? On this Monday night, Monday 420, 420, April the 20th. So all potheads, I guess this is your day, huh? 420. I don't do that, so I'm just doing my podcast. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet, because I did some work, and one of my ex-colleagues called me, and then I was talking to my sister, and then I was talking to some lady, because I'm trying to like get into some sort of detox program, because of this whole, stressed out, depressing situation with Corona and all that, right? Especially us, small businesses, we are suffering. So I just want to make sure that I don't want like fall into another like sinkhole. I mean, hopefully I don't, but I just wanted to like see what options they have. And how is everyone doing, huh? Um, I'm watching Kansas City versus Seattle. This is like a 2019 game, right? Soccer game. Seattle versus Seattle Football Club, which is actually the soccer club, versus Sporting Kansas City. And Sporting Kansas City already has 2 goals. There you go. So, um, everybody's sitting home, and with the social distancing and all that other nonsense. You know, I mean, what other nonsense are? I mean, like you're doing social distancing, and then if you are home, for weeks, that actually really makes you depressed, and things are not normal. And so, yeah, I've been obviously, stressed out, stressing out, and I'm pretty sure many of you do too, given the circumstances that nobody actually thought about. Like if you're asking me like a month and a half ago, I mean, everybody knew about this fucking coronavirus, but nobody had a clue that this is going to just not bust, sir, just cripple the whole fucking planet, right? And apparently it did. So, is this going to be the new normal? Even if things become normal, right? When the cities are open, businesses are open. I'm not sure, but I mean, this fucking thing has to end, right? Somewhere it has to fucking end. Sometime it has to end, right? By that time, what is it like? A million people will die? Hopefully not. Speaking of which, I was watching the what was that movie from? It has an ensemble like cast of like actors and actresses. Contagion, yeah, Contagion, from 2011, I think. This is when H1N1 was the fucking news, and then the directors came up with this movie Contagion. And without any spoiler alerts, I guess I'm gonna have a lot of spoiler alerts. They're talking about like an airborne, some sort of organism that actually like kills people. So in millions, obviously, that's fiction. So, but it has Matt Damon. What's his name? Jude Law, and all the other like great actors. Oh, Bryan Cranston. And so I was watching that the other night, and I'm like, fuck this, I mean, it's not like a Contagion, but this is 2020, so, and we all depend on, the the businesses, and the interactions, physical contact with other people. You have to go to work, and so all of that is not happening. So when all of that is not happening, then our minds get fucked up. Is that what it is? Well, I mean, if this fucking thing goes on for like months, then yes, definitely we are going to go like fucking insane. You're gonna go fucking insane. So most of the people are home. They're watching movies. They're watching shows and blah blah blah. And that's aside. Having said that, there are people who are unemployed and they can't pay the rent. They can't pay their bills. And so it's just a fucking disaster, I guess I'm repeating myself. So let's talk about something new. And so I finished Ozark, right? Great fucking show with, what's his name, Jason Boatman, right? And season 3, I watched it completely. And then I rewatched fucking, what do you call, Expanse. That's one of the fucking greatest shows, Expanse. If you are into like space opera and all that, right? It's a space opera TV show, but it's very realistic. And I like the storylines as well as, the acting, great acting. Great ships. Like fucking amazing ships and all that, right? And I watched that, and what's the other fucking show I watched? Oh yeah, so I also watched Westworld season 3, episode 6, which aired last night. That's obviously also a great show if you guys are into that. If you remember Westworld 2, season 2. But this one is even better. And I'm not going to have any spoiler alerts because that's a new fucking show. Is there a new fucking goal? Hold on a sec. So that's the third goal? Or no, that's just a recap, sorry. So Kansas City has 2 goals versus Seattle, Washington. They are fucking losing with 2-0 or 0-2, right? So Westworld, and then what's the other one that I watched? One episode. Oh, the Money Heist. Fucking Money Heist. That's a fucking great show too. From Spain, Madrid. Um, but Netflix, obviously, it's a Netflix show, so they basically, made it for an international audience, including American audience, you know. So it doesn't look like it's a Spanish show or it's a show in Spain, but the way Netflix had made it with the English language, it looks like it's really a show in English, right? That's a fucking great show. Um, there's season 4, whatever the hell it is, right? Um, and so yeah, so that's what I've been doing, and I was working actually today for like a couple of hours. I had to get some drawings out, and I had to get on to Department of Building website and upload stuff and all that. But everything is shut down. So, Department of Building is not issuing any new permits. Construction is shut down, except for essential and emergency. So, basically, this is like the fucking dystopian planet Earth. And, I'm hoping that I think this is one of the topics in a cheat sheet, that these fucking companies, private like space companies and NASA, that seriously think about having another world, another home on one of the other planets, right? Okay, so I guess I'm repeating myself. So let's just talk about something else. Well, I mean, everything is like every fucking news, which I try not to watch or listen to, is basically revolving around fucking coronavirus, which is going to fucking like turn us into some fucking insane zombies. Hopefully not. But in any case, so what are you guys doing during this shutdown, huh? So I just, sometimes I go to the park to walk, but for most part I just stay home. Except if I go to the grocery store and all that, right? So yeah, here we are in this unforeseen fucking, condition on this planet. And do you guys miss like going to school, going to fucking offices, going to, your friends' houses, whatever, meeting your friends? And do you guys miss the normal life? Because I'm telling you right now that this is the new normal life. So live with it, huh? I hope not. And my fear is that people are, when things become normal, people will forget to actually live a normal life after like months of isolation, right? I don't know. I think I was going to think to do that. Things are going to be different. That's what I wanted to say. So whatever is going to happen, we will see, right? We shall see. And New York and obviously New York City are still the epicenter. And Governor Cuomo, he talks about, he makes all these fucking speeches. But again, that's a politician speech. We got to do this, blah, we need masks and all that, right? He's trying to oppose easing the restrictions, which, as you all may know, are affecting people who do want to go to work and then, earn some money so they can put food on the table and pay the bills, right? Pay the rent, pay the, car payments or mortgage or whatever it is, right? But, hold on a second. Holy shit. So finally, Seattle has one goal. So the score right now is 2-1. Kansas City 2 versus Seattle 1. So let's see what happens. Where are we? 47 minutes. 47 minutes into the fucking game, right? So let's see what happens. I mean, these guys are not bad for for soccer. Being played by American teams. I mean, it's not like Premier League, but it's not bad actually. It's actually better than the South American League, some of them. But in any case, so what I'm going to do is just I'm going to just like start watching movies and all that, after my brief podcast. Obviously, everybody's doing that. I'm assuming you guys are watching shows and all that, right? Oh yeah, so I asked my girlfriend if she wanted to come over because I haven't seen her in a while and I kind of miss her, and then she misses me too because a few times, we were trying to meet, but then I was fucking depressed. And then I told her, baby, listen, I'm just too depressed and stressed out because of this whole situation. And then so I couldn't meet her, and I feel bad because, I like her and she likes me, and it just, it just sucks. It just fucking sucks, man. This fucking pandemic is affecting so many things, like almost every fucking thing, So, yeah. So let's see. I think she works weekdays. She works at a cafe, but I think it's all takeouts. I mean, obviously, the cafe people, they want to keep it open, because they have to pay the fucking rent, right? So they have to pay the rent, and so they're trying their best to at least, get some money in, so they don't have to fucking be defaulted on the rent, right? Is that what it is? Well, I guess primarily yes. So when is this fucking thing going to end? And that's the actually $1 billion, or probably like $1 trillion question now. Because the unemployment now has exceeded what, like 22 million Americans are out of work. I mean, forget the rest of the world and, the casualties and all that, right? But in any case, so let's just not like focus on fucking coronavirus, because life still has to go on, and 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 so let's just take it the positive things. At least we have a shelter, or we have a roof over our head, right? We have a roof over our heads, and we're not starving or anything like that. I mean, it's not as worse as like that. And so yeah, hopefully maybe a couple more weeks of like torture of being isolated, and then hopefully this fucking thing is over, right? I hope so, right? And then these protests across the fucking country, where people, they want to like, open their cities, and they want their cities and towns to be open for business, which I totally understand. I already said that. And that's all good, but then places like New York City, I don't think that's actually possible right now, given the fact that New York City still has a lot of cases. So let's see, hopefully it goes down, and then this fucking thing is over. All right, so what else is going on, huh? What was the other fucking show I was watching, right? It wasn't Jason Boatman. Oh yeah, Arrested Development. It's kind of a fucking stupid show. It's kind of like a goofy show, but it was interesting, and then I binge watched it. I think it has 3 seasons. I binge watched it, yeah. Very interesting show. Not, completely the opposite of like fucking Ozark, right? But the best of all, excuse me, best of all for me is Expanse. That show is fucking great. Fucking amazing. Oh, by the way, so I did not have enough sleep this morning, so I guess that's why I'm fucking yawning. Sorry, last night. So I want to go to sleep earlier so I can get some sleep and try to get up earlier and be a little more productive, So yeah, so that's the that's the way of life now. And I picked some food. Actually, I picked some food from the food truck, and then I also I went to Grove Street Market, on Columbus Drive, and then I ordered like a Philly cheese sandwich. Amazing. So that's what I was having for dinner. When you're stressed out and all that, you also lose your appetite, which sucks. But then you still gotta eat. You gotta eat at least something, because empty stomach and then you're stressed out, it can give you ulcers and all that, right? So I had like half of that sandwich, and here I am. When you go to these grocery stores now, obviously you have to have a mask, right? In public, you have to have a mask. In New Jersey and in New York, grocery stores or wherever you are, you have to have a mask. And the other day, I didn't realize I didn't have a mask, right? So I'm trying to get into fucking ShopRite, right? ShopRite, right? ShopRite, is a supermarket. I was trying to get in there, and then first of all, I got there late, around like 7 o'clock, right? And then there's a line because they are not letting people at once, so they have a line where, they're letting a certain number of people, right? And then depending on how many people come out, and then they'll let like more people in. I mean, it looked like a fucking like a nightclub scene to me there, Oh, we are out of capacity, and so so you gotta wait in line, and then you have to wear a fucking mask, right? Oh, we are out of capacity. So what is it, like a fucking, like a music venue? And then I'm like, so what happened was, okay, so I got on the line. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Oh shit, I think Kansas City has another goal, guys, and girls, and every other gender associates. Kansas City has the fucking third goal. There you go. Kansas City has the fucking third goal. Amazing fucking third goal. How much money these American soccer players get, by the way? I'm pretty sure like a fraction of the European leagues. I mean the players who earn, the players in the European leagues and Premier League who have their salaries or their contracts, right? But obviously soccer is not big in US. What the hell I was talking about now, that fucking Kansas City did another goal, right? Fucking amazing goal. Shit, I'm losing my fucking mind. So I was talking about, oh yeah, so the lines, right? Lines at the fucking supermarket. So I got there around like 7, and there's a line, so I get on the line, right? I didn't have a mask at that time, right? And then, so I'm like, okay, so, and then what happened was that I had like 4 people ahead of me. And then what happened was that, there are security people now there, right? So they let like people who were after those 4 people who were in front of me, they let those people in, and then they said, this is it, folks. This is it. We're not going to let anybody else in because it's already 7 o'clock and we close at 7. I'm like, fuck this. Fuck this. So they didn't let anybody in there. And then next to ShopRite, was or is the BJ's, right? BJ's wholesale. I'm like, okay, so let me go to BJ's. So maybe they usually have like a grocery and all that, right? And the juices and beverages, right? So I go into the entrance. So there is a security guy in there, and he looks at me. He's like, "You can't come in, sir." I'm like, "Why not?" And he's like, "Because you have to have a mask." I'm like, "What?" So I'm like, "Fuck this as well." So then I went to like a local, what do you call, a grocery store here near my apartment building, right? So at least I got the fucking, diet ginger ale. And then I also picked up some like snacks, you know, because I had food from the food truck. So, um, the point I'm trying to make is that things are not normal. Things are not fucking normal. When I saw that, the line and, the whole thing, it felt like a fucking dystopian time, where, it's going to be like a rationed. The groceries are now going to be rationed. Is that what it is? First 10 people who get there, they get to get into the grocery store, and then the rest of them, they can go home and starve. Is that what it is? So this is like the beginning of like the fucking dystopian world, I think. Hopefully not. Also, we Americans, we get panic attacks. Something like this happens. So that's the other thing, you know, because people have already fucking hoarded, everything from the shelves of the grocery stores, right, including toilet paper and whatnot. So that's why I think these grocery stores, they want uh, people, they want to let people in groups, you know, because if there's a lot of demand and there's no supply of goods, then what the fuck they're gonna do, right? They're not gonna let all of the people in. So these are the signs of fucking dystopia. Yeah, there you go. And hopefully this fucking thing does not happen again. And if it does, and then we are doomed. We are fucking doomed. I'm telling you right now, sir, ma'am, and every other gender associates. But in any case, so that's the new normal. That's the new fucking normal, And I was like, I just couldn't believe that this is, that's what was happening at ShopRite. Usually the ShopRite closes like around like midnight or at 11 o'clock, right? And this is not even like 7 o'clock, right? And that's what they're doing. So I'm like, fuck this. And so I just left from there, All right, so I'm kind of feeling sleepy. I'm sorry. Again, because I didn't have enough sleep last night. So how about we get into our cheat sheet? It's already 34 minutes, right? Sorry, I didn't mean this podcast to be like a boring podcast. Right? So let's just get into our cheat sheet. It's already 11:25 p.m. on a Monday night, right? And I presume you all are safe out there, etc., etc. My first topic, Geico. Okay, so this is what happened, right? If you guys remember, I had to file a claim through Geico, my car insurance company, because some guy fucking hit me right? And then his insurance company, State Farm, agreed to pay for 70% of the freaking, damages to my car, and 70% of the what do you call the car rental, right? So then I get an email from fucking Geico like a week ago that they're gonna charge me $352, right, on April 20th. And I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck is that charge? Because I was paying $150 a month, right? So I called Geico and they said that, because I was involved in an accident, so whenever somebody gets involved in an accident, then they have to pay more health insurance, right? I'm like, wait a minute. So even if I'm not at fault, and then the lady I was talking to with Geico, right? I don't know, sir. You have to ask somebody else. Please call tomorrow, right? I'm like, no, I want to talk to your supervisor. So so our supervisor came in, and then I said, listen, if you got jacked up the price more than twice, even though it was not my fault, and the other parties company, State Farm, had agreed to pay up to 70%, right? So we start arguing, and I'm like, fuck this. And then I got fed up, and then I what do you call? I got fed up, and I said, you know what? I'm just going to cancel Geico. So that's what I did. I canceled it, and then I called Progressive, and then I got a quote that morning while I was on the phone, and they said that they were going to basically send me the card in the mail, right? So I'm just waiting for that to come in the mail. All right. My next topic. So this is what the fuck happens with, right, these fucking insurance companies, just like fucking health insurance companies, right? My next topic, Bloodshot. Bloodshot with Vin Diesel, fucking amazing movie. You guys can watch it. I believe it's available on Amazon or Netflix. I think it's on Netflix. Fucking amazing sci-fi movie, and it's a great fucking movie. It's a great fucking movie. So check it out. Bloodshot. I'm not gonna have any spoiler alerts. All right. So my next topic is Como and Stern. So I saw that Howard Stern actually was talking over the phone with Governor Cuomo, and obviously they were talking about like Cuomo's past and blah blah blah, and how Howard Stern is impressed by his leadership skills and all that, right? All right, so but in any case, they were talking about, obviously. I mean, he's a politician, and Howard Stern is a medium mogul, right? So yeah, that's what happened. But what was the point you were trying to make, sir? I guess the point I was trying to make was that because everybody's sitting home, including all these fucking, talk show hosts, including Howard Stern. But he is bringing in these, not bringing in, but he's talking to these great guests, including Cuomo. He was talking to via Zoom, I think, with Paul McCartney from Beatles, You guys remember? All right, so my next topic, everyone. Sorry, I'm gonna keep it really brief because I'm really like feeling is asleep. I don't want to like sleep while I'm doing my podcast. My next topic is Mandalorian docu series. Is that a docu series or documentary? So they're gonna do like a documentary on Mandalorian, the show in the Star Wars universe, cinematic universe, right? So they are doing that, and then I was listening to who I was listening to. I'm listening to all these actors, right? GQ magazine has a YouTube channel, and then they bring in all these great actors and actresses, and they kind of like interview them and ask them what their best moment was and all that, right? In their film career, like in their careers in general, right? And in etc. etc. So I'm sorry, guys. Can I do this some of the time? So let me just quickly go through this because I'm really like falling asleep. I'm sorry. Maybe that like sandwich like made me like really asleep or something like that. All right. Again, I apologize. So Mandalorian documentary. When is that going to come on? I'm not sure, but check it out. I'm going to check it out too because I fucking love that show, Mandalorian. I'm looking forward to their season 2. And my last topic, everyone. NASA SpaceX manned mission to International Space Station. All right, so I believe that's scheduled for 2022. So SpaceX is Falcon rocket. It's going to carry the shuttle, not the shuttle, but the capsule that SpaceX has come up with, but this time with 3 NASA astronauts. So for the first time, NASA astronauts would be launched from U.S. soil in 27 years, right, into the space. Because right now, NASA uses Russian rockets and all that, right? And the transportation capsules to transport its astronauts into the International Space Station. So that's going to be very interesting. So let's see what happens, right? Hopefully sooner than later. And with that said, I presume you all out there are safe and watching a lot of great movies and shows. And let's just hope for the best that this fucking thing is over sooner than later. And so we all can come to a normal life just the way it was like 2 months ago, right? Okay, so that's my podcast, everyone. Again, I'm sorry, I apologize. I kind of like snoozed down, or maybe I was like sounding like a fucking, I don't know, like down. I mean, I'm not down, but it's just that I just didn't have enough sleep, so I guess I'm just going to at least take a nap, or I'm just going to go to sleep. So either or, and with that said, I'll see you all next weekend.